It's April 2nd, 2004. The iconic Iceman, Chuck Liddell, is walking out to fight Tito Ortiz. There's a heated and intense, unpredictable chaos within the arena.
You know what? It's the biggest grudge match in the history of mixed martial arts is about to occur moments from now. These guys truly hate each other. They started out as friends.
Fight is 3 rounds in the UFC Light Heavyweight Division. Introducing first, the Warrior standing to my left. He is a kickboxing expert with a mixed martial arts record of 12 wins and 3 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 204 pounds. Fighting out of San Luis Obispo, California, please welcome the Iceman, Chuck Liddell!
This is the old era of the UFC, what many consider to be its prime, and I can see why. It felt raw and unpredictable. Fighters' outfits to and in the cage were controlled by billion-dollar corporations, and fighters in the sport felt like real stars. So has the UFC lost its flair?
Tito covers up. Chuck continues to tee up. Combinations, uppercuts.
This is something we don't see as much in the UFC anymore. Finishes like this in the UFC were much more frequent in the older era. It made fights feel unpredictable, chaotic, wild, and really fun to watch. From 2005 to 2008, 65% of fights within the UFC ended in a finish. That is a whole lot higher when you compare it to the recent numbers we have. From 2022 to 2025, only 46% of fights ended in a finish. MMA as a whole is evolving, and the problem is that makes it less entertaining. It makes the UFC more of a sport than a fight. This isn't a knock on any fighter, it simply means fighters are getting better at not making mistakes. They don't swing wildly and uncontrolled. They keep their chin down, their guard up, simple things like that just every fighter is getting better at, making fights less likely to end in a chaotic knockout. So unfortunately, the UFC's finish rate will never be as high as it was from 2005 to 2008 ever again.
Seriously, let's talk about the Reebok deal. I know you caught some heat for that, right?
Well, yeah, the fighters aren't thrilled about it.
Why?
I don't know,
Doesn't that
man.
mean more money
these
for the
guys
organization?
Don't get it. These guys are short-sighted sometimes, and
You're talking about your fighters.
yeah, it's good for the industry. It's good for everybody.
Why is
This was a lie. Dana White didn't up the fighter pay whatsoever. In fact, it was reported that many fighters lost anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 per fight.
That's not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff had to be worked out. I think should have been worked out in advance. It's great to have a big sponsor like Reebok involved, but not if the fighters have to suffer.
Not only fighter pay, but the Reebok deal also took away originality for the fighters, like Anderson Silva's black and yellow trunks, BJ Penn's black belt shorts, Tito Ortiz's flamin' shorts, and Rich Franklin's pink and brown shorts. It seemed like it would make the fighters money, but in reality, it stripped them of their sponsorship deals and took away their identity. It seems the atmosphere has changed. In the old UFC, it felt gritty and tough. Crowds were louder, production felt rougher and strong, walkouts felt bigger, everything felt more dangerous and like there was more on the line. Back then, we didn't have weekly cards, so cards felt bigger and special to watch. You used to have real stars, like Chuck Liddell, Rampage, BJ Penn, and Brock Lesnar. They almost felt like a myth. Modern technology has made it to where we can see what every fighter is doing at all times, and it almost takes away the mysterious and dangerous feel to each fighter. With fighters constantly streaming, tweeting, and promoting themselves, fans know too much. The aura disappears, and every fighter just becomes a regular, everyday interaction. Someone like Fedor Emelianenko felt legendary because no one heard of his name and he wasn't spoken of much. He had a perfect example of what many UFC fighters in the older era had, that mysterious, mythical, legendary vibe. So I'll leave you to answer this question. Has the UFC lost what made it so great?